Hi everyone. We're going to do a short tutorial here on Have You Ever Seen the Rain? There's just a couple of things in here we want to touch base, and this is going to be for ukulele and for baritone. They both have the opportunity for some movable shapes, and then there's some things we want to talk about with the run that happens not only at the end of the intro, but that run is used at the end of the chorus to set up and go back to the verses. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the intro. First, the thing is the strum. The strum is the same as we use in the chorus of Yellow Submarine. Now this is not the strum that they use on the record, but they're using an acoustic guitar, and they're using something that they really started doing very heavily back in the late 60s. They're using a compressor on the guitar so that you can basically just strum the guitar all the time. You use a compressor to tighten up that sound. Well, when we play live, we don't have a compressor that we're going to run on the ukes. So what we're doing is basically just trying to see what was the feel that he were trying to develop. And what he's doing is he's setting up a very steady and driving force for those first four chords in the intro. Then what he does is on that last chord, the A, there's a run. And that run, you feel it. It just stops that drive, opens the sound up. You play the run, which is syncopated, which tends to want to pull things back. Then he drops into the regular feel he wants to use on the song. Well, we're going to do something similar to that. And what we're going to do is we use the strum down, 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 up, down. Still going to have the same effect because it's driving all the beats like that, okay? Now, there happens to be an opportunity here for both the bari and the uke to do a movable shape. Now, for you ukulele players, this is your B minor, barring across the second fret. You got the fourth string, fourth fret, played with your ring finger, and that's your B minor. You don't want to play a B minor 7 here. The B minor 7 is more of a jazzy, nice sounding chord. You want the dark, full minor chord on this, okay? Now when you play that, the B minor, next chord you're going to go to is the G. Now normally you would just drop out and play your G like this, but if you're playing this B minor, notice you can take your middle finger here, I'll get closer so you can see this. You can go to your second string, third fret, which is right in front of your index finger here, and now you have a G. So you're going from this, and now you've created the G. Then you can drop out to the D and on to the A, okay? So let's take a look at that. Just like that. And I would practice that. I would sit and work on that. Once you play your B minor, drop that middle finger in, third fret right there on the second string. Then to your regular D and out to the A, okay? Now let's take a look at that on the bari. It changes, but it's funny because of the way they're set up. The ukulele is tuned, it's just like a bari from the 5th fret up. So they're going to have the same shape they're going to get to go into, but it's from a different chord. So they're going to start with the B minor. Usually the baris, you're going to play your B minor like this. Okay, I sometimes play mine, I go on and bar it. I'm used to barring across there. Now this is where you want to get into a movable shape, and we've been trying to push these a lot, is on the next chord, the G, you want to fall into this movable shape. If you have to play your open G like that, that's fine. But this is such a good opportunity to go from that B minor to this. You already play the F, so it's a matter of taking that F shape and moving it up to the 3rd fret. And now you have a G. F, F sharp, G, okay? So you want to go from your B minor to the G. Now, this is where you end up with another movable shape, and it happens to be just like the one used on a different chord. The ukes are playing it as a G. You're going to use it to play your D. And what we're going to do is from this G, we're going to move up towards the headstock to the 2nd fret. We're going to bar the 2nd fret, and we're going to end up with this, which if you look in here, you can see where your D is. Your D is built, only you've got your ring finger up here. So what that's going to look like is from this you move to that like that, okay? So barring the second, ring finger up on the 4th string, 4th fret, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, which is the exact same shape the ukuleles are using to play a G, since they're actually playing up higher. So here's your Bari. B minor, use that G, drop to this D, and now you can release out to your A. Okay, just like that. So this is a great opportunity, and you can hear the sound walks from here So notice how you're walking down like that. It's just a nice, just perfect, really nice run to play. Now, one other thing we want to talk about, and that's the, I'm going to call it a ghost strum. It's when you play the ukulele, when you're changing chords, and you just let it ring. You're not playing a chord, it's noise. I'm going to call this a ghost strum, just so we have something. We can do this on this because when we're playing this down, we don't have to stop on the downbeat of 4. We can play on the upbeat as well. So we can get a... Now when we do the movable shape here, no problem at all. For you baritone players, that's going from your B minor to your G. Just let the thing ring on the and as you're making your move. And it's going to sound like this on the ukes. Now notice you've got that on the changes, but it sounds fine. We've done this in other songs where you make the change, you go on and play the and of 4 just to have the noise ring so that the sound stays constant and doesn't drop off. So here it is on the ukulele. Just like that. Now let's do it on the baritone. For you baritone players, you're going to get the so even though you have this noise going on, it keeps the sound generating and doesn't have a stop in it. Now let's take a look at the run. For the ukuleles, there was some options out there. We're going to just play this one way, okay? Now for the ukuleles, your first note, when we hit that, after we do this, from the B minor to the G, then we do our D, then when we go to the A, if you're not playing the run, you go on and go to your A. If you're playing the run, for the ukulele, it's open first string. Next is the 3rd on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, 2nd fret, 2nd string, and then finally open. And this is how the rhythm goes. In the original thing, I must admit, I apologize, I had it written incorrectly, and it sounded funny to me till I was working on the drum program, and then it dawned on me that there's a double note, and the way this sounds is this. You double that one note. So the last note ends up on a 4 on a downbeat instead of the upbeat, and that's what kind of holds it together. So let's set our metronome here. We're going to practice this a couple times. I have it at 80. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now after we do the run, we would set up into the D chord, okay? So one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to put the whole intro together for the ukes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that, okay? All right. Now let's do this for the baritones. The baritone players, you guys are going to play this, and you're going to play starting on your third string. You're going to play second fret, open. Then you go to the fourth fret on the fourth string, double that note, second fret on the fourth string, and that's your run. Fingering, there's a couple ways you can play this. You could start with your index finger, which puts your ring finger right here on the fourth, index on the second. Okay, so index here, third string, second fret, open, ring finger up on the fourth string, fourth fret, that gets doubled, index finger on the second. Okay, that's probably the most comfortable way to play it. If you wanted to play it using your pinky, you could start with your middle finger on the third string, second fret, and that would make you use your pinky on the fourth string, fourth fret. Okay, but notice whichever shape I use, I keep my fingers like this. I'm not trying to get one finger to do this. I let my fingers be in position and play. I think the easier way to play it is, because your index is so good at finding things, is start with the index, open, play the fourth fret on the fourth string with your ring finger, and then that puts your index here. So your index is playing on the second fret all the time. Now let's do that with the metronome. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and like that. Okay, now let's put that together with all the chords for your bari players. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you can come out to your open D if you want. Okay, one more time. Just like that, okay? So that's for you guys. Now, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about is this is a great opportunity. This is one of those songs where we hold chords for more than one measure. And anytime you're holding a chord for more than one measure, remember in our regular strum, down, down, up, down, we usually on the and of 4 come back up, because that's the place where you can reset to play a new chord. But if you're not playing a new chord and you're holding a chord, anytime you hold it more than one measure, you can go on and play that and until you have to change. So it's going to sound like this, okay? We've got the okay, and that starts right off in the beginning after we do the run that we play, the then it would start, someone told me long ago. There's a, so see, you can catch the and of 4 on that, and the same on the baritones, okay? So that's the tutorial there for Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Next coming up will be Who'll Stop the Rain, because we're going to do a medley. Although you could play this as a standalone song, we're going to actually tie it together with Who'll Stop the Rain. But enjoy!